I have been crying myself to sleep for the past 10 nights. The year was 1978. I was a very young, 23 years old. My boyfriend of 3 years had just left me high and dry. We were very much in love, and we had even planned to buy a house for us to live together. Imagine my shock and dismay when he just told me our relationship is over. Without giving me a reason, he walked out of my life, leaving me with a broken heart and shattered dreams. To make matters worse, I was too ashamed to tell my families and friends of being jilted, hiding my tears at night, and covering my emotional scars with smiles and laughter. I went about my normal life as usual. Luckily, I had worked as a secondary school teacher and many social activities to keep me busy and sane. Slowly, I healed from the hurt and the pain. The emotional scar still remains with me until today. It's a reminder that I have loved and lost, but it's better than never to have loved at all. I went on to find new love, joy, and happiness in new relationships. Do you have similar emotional scars? I sure know, especially winter. Can you see physical scars on my legs? I'm very fat, so it's not very obvious unless you come right up here. These are scars from wounds inflicted almost 19 years ago. I'm not that young. Almost 19 years ago, when I was a victim of snatch thieves. I just started work at my sister's new company in Kuala Lumpur. One day, as I was walking back from lunch, and those days, the fashion was carrying long, big, slim bag. As I was walking back from lunch, suddenly a pillion rider snatched the strap on my handbag. And my reflex action was to shout, "Hey!" and held on to the strap with both hands. The momentum of the motorcycle caused me to fall flat. I'm not going to fall flat, like flat, because I'm very addressed. Fall flat onto the road and was dragged, swinging from side to side. Looking up into the exhaust fume coming from the motorbike, I realized the motorcyclist was pulling me direct into the path of the oncoming traffic. My whole life, which is very long, flashed before my eyes. And I know it's either my handbag or my life. Guess what I chose? My life lah. I let go of the handbag strap and came to a halt right at the back wheel of a Proton Saga car. I recognized that it was a Proton Saga. So I got up shakily and walked towards the roadside pavement and sat down, crying away with a lot of pain as my dress and my pantyhose were actually scraped and torn. Luckily, there were a lot of Samaritans who came to comfort me and to contact my colleague to send me to the hospital. The physical scars unlike the emotional scar, can be seen on my body. They remind me of what I have been through, why I have been, but not where I am going. Ladies and gentlemen, remember, this world is an amazing place despite its many tragedies. We need to know that life is full of joy and happiness, even though we do get hurt every now and then. We need to know that when we get hurt, we can recover, we can heal from all this hurt. And we must always see the beauty in our scars. Back to you.
First, I like your speech very much in terms of you using your words very well to describe the experience. You paint the picture in our mind so well, in such that I'm living in those moments. I can see when you say driving along and seeing the cars, and then, well, I don't have a very long life, but I can still feel that when you mention about that. And I really appreciate you for sharing such a wonderful experience to us, because not many people get to drag behind the motorcycle and have those kind of experience. So you describe to us, so we don't have to live that kind of experience. Okay. So some of the areas of improvement for you is, for example, engage the audience with your eye. You see, I was sitting over there and I feel that YS always looking here, ignore me, who's sitting over there. Is there something wrong with me? So, if you engage every single person with your eyes, finish one sentence, move on to the next person, and move on to the next person, and finish that sentence, you engage more people, and you get more people to be with you. And the second area of point of you could use to improve is your hand gestures. Most of the time, your hand is around here. There was one time I remember you used shattered, but that's all. There's a widest or a long line, yes. These are the two areas. The rest are mostly limited to this area. So if you want to create a dramatic effect, you want to create more, get audience to engage, to create a drama, you can use more, go further. Like when you drag along, like that. And when you feel sad, crying with a pillow, do just like that. You can, like Houston. If you do that, you create an effect. And so that your hand gestures, if you leave it around this area, it will become seeing someone talking with the hand over like that. And if you use more variety, people will feel that it's more interesting. And next is, use less details in the story. You see, there are lots of details that you paint a picture, but sometimes I felt that they are a little bit too much. When there's too much, I was disconnected. Slowly, I don't want to listen to too many details. Please, lesser, go to the point. So that is also one of the reasons you have very little time to create your conclusion. So overall, it's a great speech. I learned a lot from you. Back to you.
It's a great honor to hear your speech. And now, this is my first time doing an evaluation. Even in a regular meeting, I have not yet done an evaluation. For that, I am truly honored to evaluate you. Your body language was very, very good. You were able to use the full stage. And when you were telling about the snatching and the way you were doing it, we can really see that how it happened. For that, it was very good. At the same time, your voice, everybody can hear your voice from the front to the back. That's very good. If I may, since you're a mentor of this club, I'm just a humble mentee. I'd like to point out a few things. The first thing is your voice. Even if it was loud, it was a bit monotonous. You were saying, happy. How can we feel that you were happy if you're saying, oh, I was happy, I was sad? The emotion behind the voice was not there. At the same time, the second point I'd like to point out is the organization of the speech. You were going with the emotional, then the physical, then the ended. The conclusion was not that solid. I was timing it. You did your first set of your story around 2 minutes. You ended your second set at around 5 minutes. Then you ended the speech at 5 minutes 30 seconds. I feel that the conclusion needs a bit more work if you want it to be emotional, because you are doing an emotional speech. With that, we go to the third point, which is your level, energy level. You were saying about you were sad. You went down, then you were saying, okay, you recovered. Then you said you were into the accident. You went down again. Then you recovered. Then you ended. So if you're doing an emotional speech, it should be from flat, you go down, then you turn up, up. If this is your starting point, your speech should be here if you want to inspire people. What happened is you did this. But overall, I like your speech very much. Not a lot of people will be willing to give an emotional speech. At the same time, your use of the audience was very, very good. You were able to capture everyone. Even the speakers in the humorous speech like Naveen and Victor. And for that, you were able to connect with the audience. Thank you. Back to you.
Grace Tan. Grace Tan.
I really enjoyed your speech. Although for a speech contest purpose, you are not necessarily required to speak on particular speech objective of any of the manual. But I think I like her speech because it contains all the important elements of a good speech as stipulated in the speech manual. To start with, she has got very clear opening, body, and conclusion. And I like the succinct speech purpose, which is to inform us the safety about the love. And also, she also used very good word usage. And also she used visual aids. What's the visual aids she used? Herself. Stars. So I thought that was a very good, average speech. Good, average, well-balanced, well-rounded, because you have all the basic ingredients of a good speech. But hey, it is average. Probably just average. Or is it too average? I enjoyed your speech today, but if you ask me in 2 weeks' time, I may not remember. So that is a good and bad point of being average. So I do have some recommendations for you that perhaps can help you to elevate from being average, from average to average, from normal to phenomenal. 2 things, 2 recommendations. Number 1, during your entire speech, I thought that your tempo, your grooving, your pacing of the speech was consistently constant, without much variety. So I would recommend to you that sometimes speak high, sometimes speak low. Sometimes speak fast, sometimes speak slow. Sometimes speak like Mr. Bean, sometimes speak like Ferrari. So especially the part when you were describing to us how you were jilted, how you were dumped. So that part, not much vocal variety there. And also that part when you said that you encountered a snatch thief or whatever, of course your words, you did tell us that you were swaying here and there. No vocal variety. So if you could actually add on that, you could. And second thing, for me, because your speech is about a story about yourself, real life story, right? So I think in any stories, in order to make your story very accelerating and exciting, I thought you can follow this 1C and 3D principle. 1C and 3D. 3D is inject and infuse with your stories with a lot of drama, dialogues, and description. The C stands for climax. Now, I think you have a lot of drama, a lot of dialogues there, but I think, no dialogues. There were no dialogues. Maybe you can actually create some when you were talking to your colleagues, or maybe shouting at the robber. Maybe you could, at the end climax, women of our age love climax. You could actually do that by in your conclusion, in your last ending line. You said that, hey guys, life is full of failures, setbacks, disappointment, heartbreaks. But don't despair. Fight the crime and to love, to fail. Better they say, it's better not to be loved. And same sharing to Victor, or maybe you can connect with some of the audience. That would be good. Anyway, I really thoroughly enjoyed your speech. So move on with the momentum that repeaters, and please show us more of your personal exploits. Over to you.
Moses wrong. Moses wrong.
Toastmaster Y.S. Lee, have you ever considered that you have a calling, being a psychologist and a counselor? Because you have so skillfully weaved together your personal life experiences in order to inspire many of us who could have been hurt by our first love, and in those times you really helped us overcome those emotional scars. Let's give Toastmaster Y.S. Lee another round of applause. Our speaker today has attempted successfully to connect with the audience at least 3 or more times. Firstly, she started with that emotional crying. It went into our emotions, it went into our hearts. So I could never resist a lady who's crying. I will always find out what is the issue. Alright? Secondly, her eye contact was very relevant. And then she brought up her personality, which was very genuine. Because for someone to share about their past hurts, it's not easy. And someone to do so would be someone very real, genuine, and not farcical. Right? Y.S., there are areas of improvement that I would like to suggest to you. In my humble opinion, there were times when you are taking on the stage, you are a little bit hunched. It actually affected your voice projection. You should take a deep breath, breath out, and speak. And then you can allow your voice to mesmerize the audience and milk their emotions further, because it was very emotional. The other point I'd like to raise is that you are successful in using 2 events which was very similar. It's called similes. For example, that event about your boyfriend jilting you, and then about the snatch thief. If the audience actually realize those 2 events were actually to be compared, life is cruel in both instances. But in the scars of it, you are able to bring out the beauty to encourage us. So YS, for the audience here, we will always remember that if we ever be heartbroken, we will have a shoulder to cry on. Back to you.
Ladies and gentlemen, more importantly, YS. Did you notice how YS came up the stage? She came up the stage so confident, and then she cried. But it's okay, it's okay. That is a very strong opening, and all our focus were on your speech. Well done. Now YS entertained us with her dramatic story, and she shared her personal story, coupled with her strength, which is emotion. From her story and her strong emotions, connected the audience with her speech. I thought that was really well done. She also had skills in her competent communication manner. For instance, she used very beautiful words. High and dry. Hurt and pain. Love and loss. I thought that was a very powerful choice of words that we have used. And she even had good body gestures and vocal variety, all summed up in one scene. I was holding my same body language. I was like, hey! Vocal variety. And the vocal swirl. Stage positioning. We could see the whole scene. And that was really very good. But there are a few things that I thought you could do to improve on your speech. Firstly, I really like the part when you say, he walked out, leaving me with a broken heart. I thought you could do, leaving me with a broken heart. And then you step. And then you create an anchor for your speech. Set up an anchor for the remaining of your speech. And different parts of the speech, you say here, I was hurt. Motorcycle, I fell. Like a sport. And also, you ask questions to engage us. Do you have emotional scar? I thought you could use even powerful questions. Have you ever been hurt in your life? And by having that question, we're able to have our own personal story behind our mind. And you have your story, we have our story, through the emotions you bring us to your speech. You reflect on our story. And another thing I thought you could do is have a stronger ending, which is why I encourage you to use the anchor, because we could visualize your ending. Imagine, would you prefer to fall and hurt? Or would you get out from your past and look at the future? We could visualize what you're trying to tell us. I can remember your ending is find the beauty in your scar. It's okay. It's a very good choice of words. Perhaps we want to feel you. Use your strength and emotions. But overall, I really enjoy your speech. You are a very confident speaker. Although you cry on the stage, but you are very confident. You are also very creative. You have creative opening. And throughout speech, you have creative stage positioning. And lastly, you control the audience energy through your story and emotions. Let's give YS a round of applause.
YS Lee, by now, I'm sure you have been very bored listening to all the compliments. But I still have to praise you, because I want to give you the confidence to fall in love again. I'm just kidding. I sincerely hope that you can improve from my evaluation. Now, YS Lee, I always like your speech because number one, your speech is always come with a message. And your title today, Beauty of Your Scar. In fact, this title itself already motivate me to listen to your speech. Now, number 2 point, second good part about your speech is you are able to describe your life events vividly to all the members. No. Do you agree? Yes. We are just like watching you on a DVD. telling us your life events, what's happening to you, and the motorcycle accidents that you've gone through. And number 3, you like to use beautiful words to inspire the audience. For example, you say, the walk of my life, leave me with a shattered dream. Covering my emotion scars, I go out with my normal life. I would like to add one more for you. Even though I don't look like Coco Lee, but I can be as sexy as Angelina Jolie. And number 4, good point about you is you are very expressive with your body language. You know, the way you do this, when you show up your hand, it's very attractive. Well done. But, sorry, not but, I'm not supposed to say but, however, like what Grace Tan says, the biggest room for improvement is the room, the biggest room in this world is the room of improvement. So what are the improvements that you can add on? Number 1, I would love that you add more fire in your speech. For example, when you first started your introduction, you should dramatize the way you cry. To get the audience attention. And number 2, the part where you say motorcycle pull you, perhaps you can do it. To create impact to the audience. Okay, last but not least. Number 2, sorry. Like in your speech, you say that your boyfriend left you hanging high and dry. And in your speech, do the same thing, you let the audience hanging high and dry. Because you did not tell us what happened after that motorcycle incident. You rush quickly with your conclusion. Perhaps you might want to craft your speech better, telling us what happened after that motorcycle incident. With this, I look forward to your next speech. Back to you.
Our last contestant, Victor Ong.
YS. Obviously, you are the star of the show because you delivered a speech that is very intriguing. I say that because I'm trying to put myself in, not as a contestant trying to evaluate you, but as a member of an audience and listening to a speech that touches me. I think the kind of experience that you relate to us is something that some of us, if not all, can relate to. And the pain that you have experienced, both emotional and physical, resonates with me. I thought this is the kind of speech that I've not heard you speak before, because usually you speak with authority, with a certain kind of loudness that represents your personality, very powerful. But today it's so soft and mellow, and it touches me in a way that nobody else knows. I salute you because that is a speech that I enjoy. Now, I have some areas in which I thought I find there's a little bit of a disconnect. Now, you put us into a very slow mode kind of atmosphere because you told us about the pain of the breakup. And I almost cried out because I felt the same way too. Then you talk about the snatch thief. Now, I thought that was not fair of you because on one hand you make us very sad, make me feel so full of remorse, and then you make us feel angry because about this snatch thief. I thought perhaps in a way if you could reorganize it by telling us about this first snatching first, get us all riled up, full of anger, and then bring us down to that level of melancholy and sorrow. I thought that would be a more suitable case of speech in a way that you could organize it that allows us to be more in tune with your speech. You demonstrated a lot of eye contact, good voice control, good pacing, good speech organization as well, and good body language. So I've got no fault with that. But I thought the message could be more reinforced. Because on the one hand, you talk about emotional pain and then you talk about physical pain. That's where I'm trying to see where my heart strings are pulled. They're pulled in two different directions. And I would love that if you can just focus on, perhaps it's good just to focus on the emotional aspect of it. But forget about the physical aspect, that you can elaborate that personal breakup so that we can shed tears and feel that sorrow that you felt inside so long ago. So in that sense, I've enjoyed that speech, I truly have. And I've seen that tender side of it that I've not seen before. So I congratulate you, and I hope you can pull my heartstrings again.